Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Shahin Monjezi here. In today's video, I'm going to be describing how I found inner peace in my life. I'll briefly share my story of how I stumbled upon this amazing realization, this amazing shift in my consciousness that absolutely changed my life. From there, I'll describe what the sort of results were from this shift in my consciousness and this shift in my life. And then I'll give you guys a few practical tips that you can take away and implement into your life so that you can start living a life where you have more choice or a greater choice of what thoughts that you want to follow in your head. You have more inner spaciousness, more inner awareness, so that you feel more calm, you feel more at ease. Ultimately, you feel more present in your body, in the world, in life. And ultimately, you're just happier. You're more at peace. You can enjoy life more. You can sort of flow with life even more. So if that interests you, that's what we're talking about in this video today. And I'm excited to get into it. Before we get into all that, I do want to make an announcement that in the description, there is a link for joining the online community that I am in the process of putting together. In the past, I've had people say, hey, Shahin, it would be really cool if you put a community forum together where we could have a community of individuals that are focused on spirituality, manifestation, things revolving around the nature of mastering your mind to manifest your desires, things around the nature of how to be more present in life, practices to make you more present, things of that nature. Also going through step by step, like books such as this one, Louise Hay's Mirror Work, where it's like 21 days of doing certain practices. We would do these practices together on a monthly basis. Then we discuss these breakthroughs, realizations that we've been having. So I've had this sort of interest from, or people have been expressing interest in the past of this would be something that would interest them to have a community of like-minded individuals. If that interests you, go fill out that questionnaire in the description, because I'm not going to make it unless I have enough people who sign up for it. That's just how it's going to be. So go ahead. If that interests you, go fill out the questionnaire. It's just a short, like 2-minute thing that just goes over what you would find valuable in a online community of this nature. If I have enough people sign up, I will make the community. If I don't have enough people sign up, I will not make the community until I do have enough people sign up. So that's that. So without further ado, let's get into this video about how I came across inner peace in my life and how that sort of happened. So this story really goes back to my first year in college. I was a freshman going to school at San Diego State University. And there was literally only one thing that I wanted coming out of high school. That was, I wanted people to like me. I wanted to be accepted. And this is sort of the common desire of most people in the world, right? We want others to like us. We want others to love us. We want to have friends. We want to have good relationships with other people. So this is sort of something that we all want. We just want love. We want to be loved by everyone. And that's really all I wanted coming into college. And I came into college from high school, where in high school I felt very lonely. I felt very outcast. I was always battling these sort of anxieties that were in my mind, these sort of negative thoughts that were in my mind. And ultimately, these negative thoughts and these anxieties sort of took me over, absorbed my awareness, absorbed my consciousness. As a result, I withdrew myself from the world. So going into college, I was like, this is a fresh slate. I can be anybody that I want to be, and I can make friends, and I could become this social person. But what I realized is that very quickly into college, that no matter what I tried to do outside of myself to appear cool, I started going to the gym, I started working out, that all that helped me, but then it kind of became this sort of ego thing of like who can lift more weights, and then I started partying to be cool, and then like with other guys it became this like ego thing, competition of like who can get the most girls in their bed or whatever. And I was so then again these anxieties started to arise within me, and I'd realized I was just in the same place as I was in college. So here I was again, sort of having these negative thought patterns really just absorb my consciousness, absorb my awareness. And again, I began to withdraw myself from the world. And, I was just unhappy. It's kind of just spiraled into this depression again. I think when you are so anxious all the time, when you're always thinking that other people are judging you, when in reality you're just judging yourself, when you're so critical of yourself, when you're beating yourself up about every single little thing that happens that you think didn't go right, um, the byproduct of that is that you feel bad, and it kind of gets to this place where you don't want to even live. You're so against life, you're so against the flow of life that there's a part of you that doesn't want to live anymore. And I remember during that time in my life, I was just always tired. I was just always tired. I lacked energy because my thoughts and my thinking patterns were resistant to life. They were going against this natural stream and this flow of life. So there I was going against life, and as a result, I always felt drained. I always felt like I had no energy. After my lectures I'd go to in college, I'd just go back to my dorm room and I'd sleep for hours and hours on end. And I'd sleep in late, and when a lot of kids were going out partying and doing things like that, I would just stay inside and go to bed and just sleep again. So it was really just this subconscious desire, not desire, but it's subconsciously telling myself I don't want to live anymore. As a result, I was always tired and I was just always in my bed. And so it's a depression. What I found is that a lot of or most sicknesses really come from this subconscious place of you're so harsh on yourself that you reach this place internally where you're like, I don't want to live anymore. And that really brings on sickness into your life. So this is where I was in my first semester of college. But then something happened that sort of shifted everything. I found this video by Eckhart Tolle. And this video, you can find it on YouTube. It's called Eckhart Teaches a Young Man. And in the video, Eckhart Tolle breaks down our relationship with our thoughts. Now, this is not something that I'd ever considered, right? Because I always thought that, if you want to be happy in life, you have to achieve things externally. This was the assumption that I made. As I have gone on living, I see that this is the assumption that most people in society makes. This is kind of what has been taught and passed down from generation to generation, is that you have to achieve something in order to earn love. Right? So this is sort of the paradigm in which the majority of society is living in. For example, when you're in school, the public education system really is the model for this in action. You need to get good marks on tests. You need to pass tests. You need to behave in a certain way that the teacher tells you to behave. When you get into high school, they tell you you need to get a certain GPA, get a high GPA. You need to get a high SAT score. You need to be a well-rounded individual, meaning play sports, get involved in clubs. And you do all of this in order to get the approval of an admissions counselor so that you can get into a good college, right? And then that kind of becomes a competition among you and your peers. What college did you get into? What college? Oh, I got into an Ivy League. Oh, I got into this, more prestigious public school, or like whatever. It just becomes this sort of comparison game. So it's always like this unconditional, the opposite of that, a conditional happiness, a conditional game. It's like you need to pass this test in order for you to be accepted by others. So that was sort of the paradigm that I was living in. But I watched this Eckhart Tolle video, and that really turned that paradigm upside down. Because in that video, Eckhart Tolle said that peace is already present within you, but you bring about peace, or peace is the byproduct of your relationship to your thoughts. That's really what it is. If your awareness is absolutely, completely absorbed in your thinking mind, and most of your thoughts are negative thoughts about yourself and about the world, and you're always judging people, and you're always labeling things, and you're always critiquing yourself, and those are the majority of your thoughts, and your awareness is absorbed in those thoughts, then the byproduct of that is you're going to be unhappy, and you're going to carry around this heavy energy. But if you're able to pull your awareness out of your thoughts and these negative thoughts and these negative thinking patterns, and here's the key of it, and give yourself the choice. This is the main thing. If you can give yourself the choice to choose what type of thoughts that you want to think, that will grant you the peace that you desire in life. Now, I'll give you a sort of mental model to better understand this. Imagine that you are standing in the middle of a gushing river, a powerful gushing river, right? You're standing in the middle of a powerful gushing river. The water is, let's say, chest high, right? And the water's starting to gush really hard, and you're holding on to something that's right by the riverbank, right? It's like a branch or something, right? And the water's just gushing and hitting you and hitting you. That's really where most people are mentally with their thoughts. We all have a stream of thinking. As far as I know, in your waking hours, I don't know if it's possible to completely cease your thoughts and your stream of thinking. You may be able to do it temporarily for a few moments, but in my experience, it's very difficult to completely cease thinking in your thoughts. So, in this analogy, imagine you are in this river. The water's chest high, river's gushing, right, with a powerful force, and then it gets so strong that it takes you, right? It takes you away, and now you're kind of flopping around in this river, you're gushing down this river, it's taking you away, and you're kind of just trying to find something to hold on to, but you can't, you have no stability, and you're at complete mercy of the river. Okay, that's where most people are with their thoughts. That's where I was with my thoughts when I was a freshman well, pretty much all the way up to me watching this video in my freshman year of college. This is where I was with my thoughts, right? Negative thoughts, I was always thinking, and my awareness was completely absorbed in it. I was just getting bashed around in this river of negative thinking. So Eckhart Tolle in this video says that, it's possible for you to take your awareness out of that stream of thinking. That doesn't mean you stop the stream of thinking. That stream's always there, but you can take your awareness out of that stream of thinking, that river of thinking, that powerful gush force, and you can actually distance yourself from that stream of thinking, that river of thinking, and watch that stream from a distance. What this gives you, what this grants you, is the choice. You can watch thoughts that are coming by, and you can watch the thoughts and you can be like, oh, that's pretty negative thoughts right there that are flowing by. I don't want to jump into that water. But then there might be positive, beautiful thoughts that are flowing in that stream that come along every now and then, these little gold nuggets. And when those little gold nuggets of beautiful thought and beautiful ideas come by, you have the choice now to reach into that river and grab those gold nuggets, those beautiful thoughts and those beautiful ideas, and actually expand those, collect those. So that sort of mental model, which I really just came up with today, honestly, but how Eckhart Tolle described it in his video is, it's kind of like you're laying in the park, and you're laying on your back at the park, and you're looking up at the sky, and there's clouds rolling by, right? So that's another analogy that he has for thoughts, is like clouds are rolling by, right? And there might be some ugly black clouds that are rolling by, but you don't do, you just let, you're not, there's space between you and those black clouds. That's the main thing that Eckhart Tolle is saying. If you can open up space between you and your thoughts, you're looking at your thoughts from a distance. That is the essence of enlightenment. Right there. Is you're not completely absorbed in your thoughts. You finally have the choice, and you have space between you and your thoughts. Your awareness and your thoughts. When I say you, I really refer to your awareness. The fact that you're conscious, right? That's what enlightenment really is in its essence. Right? So the spiritual masters, Zen masters, they're able to create a very big space between their awareness and their thoughts. That's it. Because what you find is, the bigger that space is, and again, this doesn't mean that we're stopping thoughts and we're stopping thinking. That's impossible. That stream is always going. That stream is always going. But your awareness, if you can create, the more space that you can create between your awareness and your thoughts, the more peace you're going to experience in your life. That's all it is. So this, for me, was a major paradigm shift when I watched this video in college, because I realized that I don't necessarily have to achieve anything outside in the world to have inner peace. That dynamic is already, the potential for inner peace is already present within me. All I have to do is open up this space between my my thoughts, and my awareness. So I started engaging in this sort of meditative practice, but it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to meditate for an hour a day and that's it. No, it was like my whole life became a meditation to open up this space, this gap between my awareness and my thoughts. And that's all it became. If I were to give you another analogy, it's like, let's stick with that river analogy, right? So most people's baseline state of consciousness is there's this powerful gushing river, and most people are actually in the river getting bashed around by this stream of thoughts. And a lot of these thoughts are negative. So they're getting bashed around by this stream of thinking, this stream of thoughts. So the first step for enlightenment is you grab onto something. You find something, right? You grab onto something on the riverbank. Maybe it's a little tree or some roots sticking out of the riverbank. You grab onto that and you pull yourself out of the stream or the river. So you pull yourself out. Now you're sitting on the riverbank watching the stream and the river gush by you under your feet, right? That's step one. And you're like, oh, okay, there's actually a difference between my awareness and this river. I'm not the river, right? Before you thought you were the river just getting gushed around. But no, you realize, oh, wait, I'm not the river. I'm the one watching the river. I'm the one watching my thoughts. Then, to open up this space even more, you stand up and you start walking away from the river. And you look up and you see that there's a nice little viewpoint up the hill. And you say, you know what, I'm going to go watch the river from that viewpoint. So the further away you get from the river, the more quiet it becomes. This powerful gushing noise kind of becomes this low, relaxing hum in the background as you start to walk away from the river. Then you keep walking up, right? The river just kind of becomes this background noise. It's still there. You still hear it. You still see it. But it's kind of just there in the background at this point. You're this awareness. You're just like, wow, this is actually pretty peaceful. You get up to the top of the hill to that viewpoint and you look down at the river, and now the river is just very quiet, but you still see it, right? And you're still able to see the contents. You're still able to see the gold nuggets that come by, which are the nice, beautiful, positive thoughts and the beautiful, positive ideas, life-affirming ideas. But you also see the negative, ugly thoughts too. Maybe they're dead pieces of wood and whatever ugly things that are floating in the river, and you see them floating by, and you're just watching. And in the process, you realize there's a huge space between me and that river. And the byproduct of that, you sitting on this mountaintop watching, at this viewpoint watching the river, is I'm at peace, number one. And number two, I have the choice to go walk down to that river. If I see something that I like, if I see a big, huge gold nugget, that's a beautiful idea, I can go hop down and go walk down and I can grab it. So that's, in essence, enlightenment. And that's really what I began to practice. Now, this sort of paradigm shift was everything for me. And now I want to kind of get into how you can actually achieve this for yourself in your life. Some practical advice. Now, in this river analogy, I said that you get out of the river, you want to widen the space between you and that river. Widening the space when it comes to you and your thoughts looks like this. If you sit down, right, and you start paying attention to your thoughts, you'll realize that there's actually a rhythm to your thoughts. Your thoughts arise and then they fall. So what I mean by that is you sit down, you start sitting in silence, and it's pretty silent, and then a thought comes in. Thought comes in such as, oh, I have to remember that to pay my credit card bill because that's due tomorrow, right? So that thought comes in, but then the thought subsides. So there's a space. And then the next thought comes in and says, man, what am I going to eat for dinner tonight? I haven't even defrosted anything, and I don't want to go out tonight because I have to, wake up early tomorrow. So I better cook something. And then that thought kind of subsides. And then the next thought comes in. The main point is between each thought, there's a small space. There's a small space. So when you sit down, whether it's for meditation or if you're just going throughout your day and you're kind of paying attention to your thoughts, in order to widen the space, you place your focus and attention on the space between your thoughts. Okay, that's sort of tip number one for widening the space, because the more that you focus on the space between the thoughts, more so than the thoughts themselves, you'll find the more the gap widens between each thought. So that's kind of step number one. Now, step number two, I sort of gave this analogy of you go to the top of the mountain, you look at the viewpoint. The top of the mountain in your body is your solar plexus, right? That's sort of the area above your, it's like your upper abdomen area. It's above your belly, right? This is a very centering place to hold your awareness. Most of the time, most people, their awareness is in their head. So if you visually kind of visualize that your awareness is coming down into this upper abdomen region, that's a great vantage point and a great space for you to watch your thoughts. Okay. Now, one way to really access or move your awareness around your body is to actually focus on certain parts of your body first. So if I focus on my hands, for example, you put your hands up and you start feeling a sort of tingling sensation, right? When you start to put your hands up and you look at your hands and you put all your focus and all your attention on your hand, you'll start to notice your hands begin to tingle, right? But you can actually do that with any sort of place in your body. So you can move your awareness to your forearm. And you start to feel your forearm becomes alive. And you continue on with that. You can do it with your feet, right? Start focusing on your feet. And then you start to feel that tingling sensation in your feet. So this is really the practice of having control over where you place your awareness. So one of the ways to access your solar plexus, which, some of you might be watching this be like, what the hell is your solar plexus? So it's really just taking a diaphragm, a breath from your diaphragm, right? So into your diaphragm. So focus, if you put your hand on your upper abdomen, right, just above your belly, and you take a deep breath through your nose, and you want to expand your belly on the in-breath and have your hand rise. So you practice that, right? So you want your belly to rise and expand when you take that in-breath. That's really your solar plexus area. And then, you breathe out, right? So these are diaphragm breaths that will ground you to your solar plexus. That's a great exercise to do when you are sitting and doing some sort of meditation where you want to expand this gap between your thoughts and your awareness, is putting your awareness in your solar plexus and breathing diaphragm breaths from your diaphragm. You'll find if you do these breaths consciously, you're thinking and you're focusing on the in-breath and the out-breath, your thoughts and the space between you and your thoughts will be very wide. Like, you might find long periods of time where you don't have any thoughts. So it really becomes this amazing practice. And this is what Buddhists have been doing for thousands of years, right? Of focusing on the breath during their meditation. This is nothing new. This is nothing new under the sun. This is what mystics have been training and doing. But this is a very short cliff notes on how to do it. Like, put your hand on your upper abdomen, take a deep breath in. You feel that rise, and then exhale, and then just consciously focus on performing that action over and over again. And focus on that solar plexus area as you do it. So you'll notice that your thoughts, like I said, the space between one thought to the next thought becomes very wide when you practice this form of thinking. This form of breathing and this kind of meditation, this breathing meditation. It's a great practice. Now, let's talk about the instances when you're going throughout your day or you're doing these meditations and you realize that you've been absorbed in your thoughts. Usually that comes in the form of, you kind of have to say to yourself, oh my gosh, I was just thinking. I was just absorbed in my thoughts. I was lost in thought. That exact moment when you say, oh my gosh, I was just absorbed in thinking, that is the win. That is what you're looking for. Every time that happens, you are winning when it comes to your inner peace. Because every time you become aware that you are absorbed in thought, that is you widening the gap between you and your thoughts. So every time that happens, consider that to be a huge win. Every time you become aware that you were absorbed in thoughts, in your stream of thoughts and your stream of thinking, that's a huge win. The more and more of those that you have throughout your day, the more you're winning, the more you're becoming aware, the more you're becoming conscious, the more inner peace that you're ultimately opening up into your life. Okay? So those are really a few practical tips to guide you on this path of inner peace, right? It all has to do with your relationship to your mind. Widening this space between this constant stream of thinking that you really can't stop and your awareness. The bigger you can get that gap, the more at ease that you will feel. So I started doing this in my freshman year of college after watching this Eckhart Tolle video, this huge paradigm shift of like, let me just focus on widening this gap in this space between my thoughts and my awareness. The more I did this, the more at peace I became. I now had the choice of which thoughts I want to choose. The result, and I'll tell you one thing, the result of widening this gap and having more space between your awareness and your thoughts is that the beautiful thoughts that are in that stream of thinking begin to surface. You start the quality of your thoughts become higher quality thoughts, and you start to have these really beautiful, insightful, positive thoughts about life that kind of flow with life. So now your thinking is almost like it becomes purified in a way as a result of you widening this gap between you and this stream of thinking. So you start to have these beautiful thoughts, and that's what started to happen to me. Is I pulled my awareness out of this stream of thinking. I started to become aware of, oh my gosh, I was just absorbed in thought. And those moments started to happen more and more. Oh my gosh, I've been absorbed in thought. And I started residing more so in that solar plexus area throughout my entire day. Walking around, speaking with people, becoming a lot more present with other people, right? Because here's something that happens when you actually start to do this within yourself. You'll find that in life, if you find something beautiful in yourself, you're able to see it in other people as well, right? So I'm residing in the solar plexus area, and I'm finding this beautiful inner peace within myself, this sort of eternal part of my nature, and I'm residing there. Then what would happen is I'd go out in my day, I'd be walking across someone in the hall of my dorms, or I'd be sitting next to someone in my classroom having a conversation with them, or having a conversation with my friend, and I'm so rooted in this solar plexus area, and we're having a conversation, and because I found this beautiful space within me, I'm also focusing on that beautiful space in that other human being that I'm talking to. So I start to see the beautiful inner peace that's within them, and I start to bring it out of them as well. So this is what started happening to me in my freshman year of college. And so I'm in this space of just, I'm at peace. I don't feel this need that I have to accomplish anything. And that doesn't mean that I didn't have goals and I didn't do things. I was going to the gym still. I was still engaging in my studies. I was, but all these activities became more fun, more enjoyable, more beautiful, right? When I'd sit down to study something, I'd really get into what I was doing. I had control over my awareness. So I'd sit down, I'm going to go on deep focus mode for 45 minutes on this assignment or on studying or reading about this thing. And I'd completely engage in that thing from this place of awareness. I have this space now, this inner space. I can enjoy it. So I got straight A's that semester. My relationships improved. I gained so many friends that second semester of my freshman year because I was present with people when they would speak to me. I was present with them. I'd look them in the eye. Because I had this inner space, I could be there with them, really be there and listen to them, instead of trying to always thinking about, well, what should I say next or what should I do next? It was just this natural ebb and flow in my conversations with people, in my presence with people, and looking people in the eye and really being there for them, being present with them, which is the greatest gift you can give another human being in life. And because I gave that gift to other people, they became loyal to me. They wanted to be my friends. They wanted to be around me. I was just this pleasant person to be around. So I had all these friends now. I was getting good grades, and then even doing things like going to the gym, right? Going to the gym, I had this inner space within me, really focusing on the movements, the stretches, the lifts, the quality of my movements, right? So then I started getting into really great shape. And then that translates to eating as well. Like eating my food became so much more enjoyable because I had this inner space. I wasn't always in my head. I was like, oh my gosh, look at this amazing meal. I'd focus on each and every bite. So everything throughout my day became this meditation with this underlying inner peace, sort of as this thread that was weaving in and out of all these activities that I'd engage in my day. And I became this individual who became very at peace with myself, at peace with the world, at peace with others. And as a result, life just flowed for me. Life just worked for me. And I took on this very beautiful energy of just gratitude to be alive. I just remember always being so grateful for anything, for a person that would come up to me and speak with me, for just being alive. Honestly, I was just grateful for this inner peace that I had found within me, and this sort of gratitude, just feeling this feeling of fullness and satisfaction. It's just kind of burst into this ecstasy for life, until it reached this one moment where I was walking on campus, and I just, again, that space was so deep within me. I felt so good, and I remember like feeling like I'm so satisfied with life that if I were to move on from this plane of existence, I'd be completely okay with that, because I feel like I fulfilled what I needed to fulfill in this life. And that was one of the most visceral, deep, like, experiences that I had ever had in my life, because I almost felt like I was about to leave my body, because this love, this peace, this connection with this beautiful eternal awareness within me was so deep and so rich, that it really did feel like I was about to just kind of leave my body, but I didn't. But yeah, it was this amazing thing, and from that day forward, I really realized that peace and happiness and love and all the things that we really desire in life, it all comes from within. It all comes from mastering this inner dynamic of mastering our relationship with our thoughts and being able to control our awareness. And that's how I stumbled upon inner peace. It's been this magical journey since then. And, now my mission really is to, one, guide other people to be more at peace with themselves. Two, guide other people to really learn how to master their mind, to manifest those things that they desire in their lives. And three, to encourage people to play in life, to have fun in life, and to really be present with things that are beautiful in life, to really place our focus on that which we find beautiful, because what we place our focus on in life is what grows, it's what expands, it's what we get more of. So that's really become my mission in life, just to make this world more beautiful, and make the way that we move in this world more beautiful and more conscious. That's the main thing, to move in this world in a more conscious manner. So yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, for those people who want to join a community where we talk about these things in deeper detail, go fill out the questionnaire in the description. It's like it literally will take you 1 to 2 minutes to fill out the questionnaire. And like I said, if I get enough people to sign up, I'll go and make this community for us, and we can really go deeper into these topics and really make friends, make lifelong friends in topics revolving around being more conscious, mastering our mind to manifest, and focusing on that which we find beautiful, enriching and saturating our minds with that which we find beautiful. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. I'll see you in the next one.